Welcome to Easy Maths. In this very last video, we're going to focus attention on the cosine rule as we finish up the second half of the solution of triangles. And we therefore will be ending the series of lessons on trigonometry too. Please check out all the videos that I have already posted. And so let's turn now to cosine rule. Now, as we focus on cosine rule, let me say that given the triangle ABC, that is, we have the triangle ABC on your screen there, where A, B, and C are representing the angles that constitute the triangle ABC. Now, the side opposite capital A is small letter a, which is side BC, and side opposite capital B is small b, which is AC, which is the length AC, and side opposite capital C is small c, which is the length AB. The lengths obviously are measured or are represented using small letters, and the angles are represented using capital letters. Now, cosine rule states as follows: that A squared, that is this side here, if you squared it, it should be equal to sum of the square of the two others, that is c squared plus b squared, minus twice their product, that is 2 times bc, cosine of capital A, and that's what we have there. Similarly, if we consider the b, we're going to say that b squared is equals to sum of the product, sorry, sum of the square of the two others, that's a squared plus c squared, minus twice their product, 2ac, cos capital B, like we have there, and c will be done in a very similar way. It'll be a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos capital C. Now, I should say that we are going to use these ones to solve triangles, and we have a question there. Find the angles in triangle whose sides are 4.7, 6.2, 8.3. This time round, we're given the sides of a triangle as shown in the screen there, the sides, and therefore in looking for the solution for this triangle, we're going to have to solve for the angles. And so let's begin with the first one. I've chosen B. We could choose any other, either a squared or b squared or even c squared. I've chosen B, and you could choose any other. Now, b squared is 8.3 squared is equals to 4.7 squared plus 6.2 squared minus 2 in brackets 4.7 in brackets 6.2 cos capital B. Now, just simplify that, and you don't really need any skill for that. It's as simple as squaring and adding as appropriate, and you'll get cos B is equals to 8.36 all over negative 58.28, and therefore B will be 98.24 degrees. And I think that's very simple. We need to go ahead and solve one more angles, or one of the other angles, and I've chosen A this time, and so we say that a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. Put in the values, since we're given them there up there in the question, 4.7, 6.2, and 8.3 this particular way. Just square, add as appropriate, and you're going to get this sort of an expression that cosine A is 0.6734, and therefore A will be 47.67 degrees. Now, given those two angles, A and B, C is simply 180 minus the sum of A and B, and that's what we have there. And that tells you that C is 34.09 degrees. Let me say this. The cosine rule normally is used to solve triangles of this nature when we're given all the sides and not any of the angles, or at least two sides and an angle between the two of them. Those two cases will be very appropriate to solve using the cosine rule. Let's move on to another example. We also solve this triangle. We're given the small letter x is 3.3, small letter z is 10, and capital Y is 129. So I've just drawn it there and marked appropriately. So this time around, we've been given two sides and an angle between the two of them, and this will be appropriate for us first of all to look for the length marked with small letter y, that is opposite to the angle 129, and therefore I have that expression there, that y squared is equal to sum of the square of the two other sides x and z minus twice their product cosine capital A, and therefore that is put in the those values are put in the formula there, and just solve that, you get y squared is 152.43, therefore y will be square root of that, which is 12.35 centimeters. Y is a side. We need now to look for an angle, the two other angles, and solve that way, solve the triangle completely, since now we have all the sides. we also have one angle, that's the angle y, 129. Now we do this. I picked 3.3, that is x. So it's like saying x squared is equals to z squared plus y squared minus 2zy cos capital X. And that's what we have here, only that I've replaced the small x with 3.3, the small y with small y with 12.35, and the small z with 10, and capital X is what you're looking for. And so simplifying this, you're going to get these particular figures. Taking 252.5225 on the other side, you're going to get negative 241.6325 is equals to negative 247 cos x. Divide both sides by negative 247, and therefore you get cos x is 0.9783. And so doing the cos inverse of that, you get x, which is an angle. This angle up here, will be 11.96. And now we have two angles, 129 and 11.96, for y and x respectively. Therefore z will be 180 minus sum of those two, and that's what we have there, and therefore z will be 39.04 degrees. And that way we have solved the triangle completely, or the values in the triangle completely. Remember, cosine rule is used normally to solve a side that is opposite. It's normally used to solve like this case, a side y which is opposite to an angle that's given, and those the two sides that are next to the two angles, that's like 10 and 3.3. And therefore whenever you're given two sides and an angle between the two of them, it's always appropriate for us to use the cosine rule. Or when you're given all the sides, we can always use the cosine rule, and that is an indicator that sine rule will be useful. Always please like, share, subscribe. I will appreciate. That marks the end of my series of lessons on trigonometry 2. Please check out for next videos coming up in next few days, and that will be touching on, I think, the next topic in the Form 3 course book. Thank you.